You find me right opposite a building that contains one of the most complex human-made devices in history. And Coggeshall has two of them. The device was the most complex right up until the telephone exchange. Of course, we're talking about the church organ. The origins of the pipe organ can be traced back to the hydraulis in ancient Greece in the 3rd century BC, in which the wind supply was created by the weight of displaced water in an airtight container. And by the 6th or 7th centuries AD, bellows were used to supply Byzantine organs with wind. In England, the first organ of which any detailed record exists was built in Winchester Cathedral in the 10th century. It was a huge machine with 400 pipes which needed 2 men to play it and 70 men to blow it, and its sound could be heard throughout the city. Beginning in the 12th century, the organ began to evolve into a complex instrument capable of producing different timbres. By the 17th century, most of the sounds available on the modern classical organ had been developed. At the time, the pipe organ was the most complex human-made device, a distinction it retained until it was displaced by the telephone exchange in the late 19th century. An integral part of the organ's sound is the acoustics of the building that it's installed in. Hence, organs tend to sound different in different buildings. Take the Albert Hall for example. The Albert Hall has a very large organ with 9,999 pipes. It is in fact the second largest organ in the UK. The grand organ, described by its builder as the voice of Jupiter, situated in the Royal Albert Hall in London, is the second largest pipe organ in the United Kingdom, after the Liverpool Cathedral grand organ. We'll get to that one in a minute. The voice of Jupiter was originally built by Henry Father Willis and most recently rebuilt by Mander organs. It has 147 stops, and since 2004 restoration it has 9,999 pipes. Imagine putting nearly 2,000 pipes in St. Peter's Church. The mind boggles. The sound would most likely be overwhelming in there. In the Liverpool Cathedral, it houses an organ with 11,000 pipes and 200 stops, and this organ was built by Henry Willis in 1923. The organ was not completed until 1926 and finally dedicated on the 18th of October that year. And the organ stands today as the largest working organ in the UK. The accolade for the largest working organ in the world goes to the United States of America. The Wanamaker organ in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is the world's largest fully functioning pipe organ, located in former John Wanamaker's department store, which is now Macy's. The Wanamaker Grand Court organ. The organ has around 28,750 pipes in 464 ranks. In the modern day, it's been reported as having nearly 30,000 pipes. These pipes take up 5 stories of the 7-story building. The organ console consists of 6 manuals with an array of stops and controls, and as you can see in the picture, it is huge. But back here in humble little Coggeshall, we have 2 impressive organs. Not as big, but they are impressive. The one here in Christchurch is a Grade 2 listed organ. The Christchurch organ is found on the National Pipe Organ Register. It's listed as having received the Historic Organ Certificate in 2018, Grade 2, an imposing instrument of local significance, built by Henry Dyer in 1902. Over the years, it's been looked after. In 1992, it had an overhaul by Norman and Beard Hill in London, and in 2006, the village workshop, small amount of restoration supervised by Reg Lane. The organ in St. Peter's Church is also in the National Pipe Organ Register, although it hasn't gained a Grade 2 classification. It was originally built in 1895 by Bishop and Son, London. It was modified by N.P. Mander. The organ was rebuilt after World War II bomb damage. The organ chamber created in the newly built West End Tower at the west end of the nave, new detached console incorporates the original Bishop organ. In 1959, it was again maintained by N.P. Mander in London, and then in 1980s, N.P. Mander added a clarinet to the swell. In 2014, Village Workshop rebuilt a new detached console, and this is the console that you can see in the church today. I saw you using the pedals earlier on. You were just getting...
That's the bit that goes...
That's...
It's just I haven't got it right. I keep catching.
Well, that's it. That's the organs in Coggeshall. The most complex human-made devices up until the telephone exchange. Why the St. Peter's Church organ is not Grade 2 listed, I don't know. The organ historians would have their reasons for giving it that listing to Christchurch, but nevertheless, both of these organs are worthy of preserving and really special to Coggeshall. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget, and I will see you in another video. Stay safe.